On today's episode of the True Craft Podcast, we sit down with Ryan Seiz, co-founder of Warwick Farm Brewing. Ryan and I discuss the history of Warwick Farm and how he got into the industry. Then we get into my favorite topic. Running a brewery involves way more than just brewing great liquid. You got to know your numbers, your market, and your customer. Enjoy the episode. Ryan, welcome to the True Craft Podcast, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. What is going on in Pennsylvania shortly after that big conference we just got home from?
Oh, man. Well, unfortunately, the Sixers got swept and so did the Flyers, so we're not doing too well. But yeah, we got the World Cup's coming up and the All-Star game, so we're excited about that.
Okay. How many games is Philly hosting for the World Cup?
I don't know, actually. I looked it up before. It's like maybe eight or something, six to eight.
Okay.
Yeah, so
my sister-in-law talked about driving over from DC to see one of the games. I think it was one of the only games she could find tickets for that weren't outrageous. So
yeah.
She may be doing that. Awesome, man. Tell us the history of Warwick Farms Brewing.
So we're a family-run business. We opened up we purchased the property in 2017. We went through 2 years of land development, and then we opened up our doors in 2019. But prior to that, we had been planning since 2015. So this has really been like over a 10-year project. 3 to 4 years in R&D and development. And so we opened up right prior to COVID, and our tasting room was not open, and which we had to build. And luckily it was not open during that. So all we knew was takeout. So like we have this drive-through that people would pull through, and we would just be doing cases and stuff. And the reception was great. It was amazing. And then in 2022, we opened up our tasting room.
When you say land development, this was woods, or this was a farm y'all had to renovate?
Correct. Yeah. So the property, we're on a 22-acre property, and previously it was a meat processing plant.
Ooh.
And then there was also corn grown on here. So we had to knock down about 2 acres worth of trees and get rid of the corn and then level out the ground. It took an unbelievable amount of truckloads of dirt, of topsoil. And when we walked into the facility where we actually brew, it had floor drains, it had a cold room that worked, and it had sanitary walls, and they used a ton of water here. So we're on well water, and they actually use more water then than we do now brewing, which is kind of crazy.
That's insane. Oh, meat.
Pretty wild.
What did they like cows, pigs, beef?
Everything.
Everything.
A lot of cow, and they would, so the room in the brewery, our brewing space is maybe 1,500 square feet, and then our cold rooms maybe another 1,000. And they used to keep that room at like 40 degrees, both rooms actually, and they'd cut them up and then let them. They have different cuts that people could come and purchase the meat from.
Okay, so it was basically a meat plant, but for customers to come. They weren't selling it to distributors or.
No, not much. I think they did some local restaurants, but mostly people came here and picked up. This is a busy area. Like Bucks County has 650,000 people. We're right outside of Philadelphia.
Yep.
Our road, Owens House Road, gets 10,000 cars a day. Like it's a busy road, and they did well for. I think they were open for 30 years, maybe. So they did pretty well for themselves.
Got it. How did you get into beer?
So prior to brewing, I played professional baseball with the Los Angeles Angels. Mm-hmm. So I was in the minor league system, and I was all over the place. Arizona, Salt Lake City, Iowa, and we would travel, extensively. And instead of us going out to bars, we would hit breweries after games and stuff. Or like on a Sunday, there'd be like a 1:00 game. We would go hit breweries, and that's kind of where my interest, where I got interested in it. And then I got released in 2015, and I applied to a homebrew shop, Keystone Homebrew. It was one of the biggest on the East Coast, and start working there. That was in 2015 and 16, and then we founded Warwick Farm in 2017.
Got it. Hats off to you, man. That minor league is a tough life.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's tough, man.
It's tough.
And my
People
wife
don't
was
realize how hard it is.
it, especially back then. It's gotten a lot better as of late, thank God. But I mean, yeah, you're looking at. I'm coming to the field at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm not leaving the baseball field till 10:30 at night every day. And then road trips. So these places are not close. They're 6 to 10 hours away. So
On a bus,
not
right?
not not. What's that?
On a bus. They're not putting you on a
Yeah,
plane.
on a bus with 25 or 30 other dudes. It's not comfortable overnight.
Yep.
And then you got to play the next day. So
Yep. Yeah, it's
yeah.
a really, really tough life. Cool. So you guys, you said it started 2017, and then 2019 is when the brewery opened. But
Yes.
it was in works. It was in the works since 2015, you said?
Yeah, I would say 2015, 2016. Yeah, like end of 2016 actually. That's when we really start working on it. Tim, so it's the Seiz family, I'm the Seiz side, and then there's the Tabor family. We came together, and we've been lifelong friends. I've known Timmy since our dads were best friends in elementary school. So we've known each other our whole lives. Yeah, and the planning, yeah, was 2 years, 2 or 3 years. So
Got it. Got it. Tell me about your rig, your brew house. How much fermentation? How many barrels will you produce this year?
Yeah, so we have a 7.5. It's like really like an 8.5. We have, my God, we have 6 7-barrel or 8-barrel fermenters. We have 8 15s, or 4 15-barrel bright tanks, and then 2 outdoor 30s. And we're on pace to do 3,500 barrels this year.
Wow. And you and I were talking before we hit record, but most of that is sold at the farm?
95%. Yep.
Wow.
hmm
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. What's the secret? What's the draw?
Well, the property is unbelievable. That's for sure. We have a huge outdoor beer garden, but we really tailored the beers. We went for quality first, and like it's Untapped's a thing. So, we went after the hazy IPAs, and that was something that this area really was craving, was a brewery that had some good hazy IPA. So we hit that market, and then we also produce, like, our number one seller is a wit beer, which is awesome. So like we tailor the beers around the property. So I'm willing to bet that we have 24 taps. I'm willing to bet that 22 of them are under 6.5%. So I think that it sounds so simple, but it's like, if you have lower percentage, they can drink more beer and
Yeah,
spend more
absolutely.
money. Yeah. But
Absolutely.
and we're
Um,
really like we like really. I mean, our my father and all of our parents have been own their own businesses. So we have like over 90 years worth of experience in business ownership. And between all of them, and like even just like how do you pour 400 beers an hour like efficiently on a busy Saturday? Like how does that work? So I think like the Chick-fil-A model, like quick.
right.
We try and do our best to educate our customer base prior to them walking in the door. We want to keep those interactions short, so but with still having good customer service.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, given your location, there's got to be and
Mhm.
especially with the outdoor draw, right? There's got to be a seasonal effect. It Labor Day to Memorial or Memorial to Labor, are y'all just jammed?
Yeah. It seems it seems like when St. Patrick's Day hits, until Christmas that's really when it's busy.
That's even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
I was giving you summer months, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, there's like July and August. Like a lot of people in this area go to the beach, so there's like that. There's that like 3 week span where it's 95 degrees out, nobody wants to be out. But yeah, it's pretty much our busy season. So
Got it. Awesome. All right, so let's pivot to the farm for a minute before we get back to the beer. Talk to me about the farm, the actual work farm. Is it a working farm?
we grow hops, yeah, and we are going to put in a greenhouse here soon, and I'm gonna plant. So we're getting into RTDs now. So like I'm gonna be planting mint, lavender. We're gonna do some bitters down the road, and we'd like to grow everything on the property here. So we have about an acre of worth of hops, and we just add a whole nother row. So like we'll probably get they're new hop, maybe 500 pounds this year's worth of hops, like nothing crazy, but the management is, I mean, we just spent a week getting them up and running this week, and then we have a drip irrigation system. So the hops grow pretty well here. It's not much maintenance, but like the actual like maintenance of the property, like mowing. Luckily we have a service that does that, but like line paint, painting the lines for the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like there is a lot of that stuff that we need to do. So.
Right. So the farm is more space for people to hang out. You grow a little bit of hops, but other than that, you're not raising cattle, sheep. You're not growing eggplant, zucchini, nothing.
No, just hops right now, and we do have rye and wheat down in the field that we anticipate using for our brewing at some point. Maybe not this year, but next year.
Got it.
So.
All right. So let's pivot back to the tap room. I was looking over your website. Y'all do the food truck model?
Correct. Yes.
How's that working?
It's working great. There's definitely we found the trucks that are reliable, and we monitor our beer sales too, along with food trucks, seeing if there's any trends. So we like on a Saturday here, we usually have like 2 or 3 food trucks, and it works great. We just start adding them on Mondays and Tuesdays, but we have good relationships with them. And if there's ever an issue, we are able to find somebody else pretty quickly. So.
Yeah. I used to be anti food truck, and then every once in a while I'll speak to you, or I spoke to a brewery in California, and they're like, no, man, the food trucks that show up here don't mess around. They're reliable.
Yeah.
They bring enough food. They're here from open to close. They're popular with customers, and
Yes.
it's just an awesome arrangement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like a minor thing is we put a plug in here for them to plug into, so you don't need to hear that generator at all times.
Oh,
So
awesome.
it's like, I hate going to a brewery and all you can hear is the generator. So we gave them a hookup they can hook up for free, so they like that as well. So
That is really friendly.
yeah. Yep. So
And you can have multiple running at once, or is it?
yeah, we've like this Saturday we have a big touch a truck event. We're gonna have 4 or 5 here. Yeah. So a lot of times they just park out in the field. So
Yeah. All right. So describe your tap room vibe versus other tap rooms in Pennsylvania. How does it differ?
ours is kind of like not log cabin. It's like very not pole barn. It's like an elevated pole barn, I would say. And we have a long bar, and we have a lot of seats, but we try to not make it look like a cafeteria. So we have kind of like a couch area, a fireplace. And then we have a big wraparound deck that can fit maybe another 100 people. And then we just recently 2 years ago, we added drop downs. So during the wintertime, we can drop them down and expand the tasting room, which is really nice. Or if it's raining out, we can drop them down. But a lot of it, it's the beer garden too. Like we have the vibe here is like bring your tent, bring your chair, bring yard games, and just hang out for the day. That's kind of our vibe.
Yep. Do you host concerts or event? What does your event program look like?
So we have the touch a truck this week, which is new, but we have, I would say three or four big festivals. So like Haze Fest we have coming up the last Saturday of May, and that's our biggest one. So like we collaborated with Trogs, Other Half, New Trail, and Pizza Boy, and we do like a very hazy forward festival, but we bring in like a 30-foot stage, and we get some awesome bands in. We usually have like 8 food trucks that day, and it's just a great day to just come hang out and listen to some good bands. And that's kind of the extent of it. Oktoberfest we do for a week, and then we have another similar one to Haze Fest called Flannel Fest in the fall, where we do giveaways, music again. So we really kind of lean into the music on those days. So.
What about like weekly programming? Do y'all do consistent weekly programming in the tap room?
You mean like I'm sorry, like
bingo or trivia?
Cornhole. We get people love cornhole. So we have two we do Wednesdays and Thursday nights, a spring and fall league, and we get I think each night's like 12 to 15 teams, and each team has 4 people. Or no, 20 teams per night. And then each team has 4 people. So we do that, and then we do if like there's a Phillies, we do some beer specials and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it.
So let's go back to this cornhole. How many sets do you have? How many cornhole sets do y'all have set up at one time?
Dude, it might be more than 20 teams. I think there's like 13 or 14 boards like set up, like lengthwise. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big. We'll get 150 people each night for it, so it's a lot of cornhole.
It's every week.
Every week for I think it's an 8-week league. Yeah, spring and fall.
Wow, that's awesome. Outside of that, though, there's not much bingo or trivia.
We have tried, and we haven't tried bingo. We tried trivia. It did not work. Live music.
Nobody does bingo. I'm sorry. It's usually trivia.
Yeah, trivia did not work well for us. We've tried live music on Friday nights consistently, and it does not do well here. Like even like an acoustic guitar just does not do well here. Like the big festivals, they do well, but not. Yeah, we don't have a music program or anything. So,
got it. So if you had to do your tap room over again, is there anything you would change?
That's a great. I saw that question. I was like, we're pretty happy with how it is. The one thing I would, from an experience standpoint, I think that I would go through a interior designer to have a separate set of eyes look at it. It is kind of, you can definitely tell that men designed it. I'll put it that way. It's just very bland. I would definitely, we're looking into it, but a bigger merch room, bigger takeout area, that would be my only things that I would adjust.
Okay. Yeah, I like the idea of bigger merch and bigger to-go beer. That is more sales and super profitable sales. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and the other thing that I don't know if you're aware, but we can't do glassware here. So that's that we stopped getting flack for it maybe like 2 years ago, but we have an on-site septic system, and the Board of Health won't approve it a dishwasher. So everything here is plastic. That would maybe be the one thing I'd change, but like during the week. But yeah, so.
Oh, that's interesting. Because your wastewater can't handle it, you can't run a dishwasher. So everything has to be plastic or
Plastic, one-time use.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So.
And do you have one of the cups? I'd like to see. Like, I want to see one of the cups you use. Do you have one near you? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but
you know what? Hold on. I don't think I do. No, it's just like a generic six. We don't do flights or like we do 16-ounce pours and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. So it's like a 16-ounce plastic cup. We want to get them branded. It's time to get them branded, but
that's what I was wondering if they're branded.
Not currently. No,
yeah.
But we are in the works of that.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Talk to me about your distro program.
So we are 95% in-house. We do distribute through, like we have a couple local bars that we go to, but we kind of view that more as marketing more than anything.
Yeah.
So it's 3 bars, that's it. And then we distribute to a couple close friends that we have that we've met, and we know that the beer is being kept cold, and they come here and they pick it up from us. Like I don't have extra hands to deliver beer, and we're fortunate enough that they come and pick up from us. So that's our distribution program. So
nice. So nothing out of the state, draft only, no cans.
Draft only in those 3 restaurants, and then the cans we do sell to those 3 distributors that were. Yeah, okay. Stones, Beer Mill, and Rich Bro. Those are about the only guys who get it. So, and Pat Dion. So,
nice.
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We're all in house. That was our goal from the get go.
That's awesome. That's
everything in house.
It's a really, really strong model. Yeah. So let's talk about navigating craft. Let's just talk about navigating craft, and a lot of people are saying there's tough times. From what I hear, it doesn't sound like you guys probably have or are having tough times, but are you experiencing anything?
No, not from our end. We're very happy with where we're at. We understand that we know who we are. Like we're a destination brewery. We play into that, but we're also following the trends. And um, I've seen many. How do I word this? I guess I see where some of the struggles are coming from, but I've also seen breweries that are under 500 barrels that are taproom only that are profitable. It seems like when you try and get in the distro, this is my personal opinion, and I could be wrong, but it seems like when you really try and depend on distro, it's at our size, it's tough. We're not a New Trail, we're not a Trogs, and um, so that's my opinion. But yeah, we're monitoring. Prices are going up. Like it sucks. Trying to weather all that stuff. But overall, we're very happy with where we're at.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt with what you said is 100% accurate. The distro is tough when you're a smaller producer, and smaller could be 11,000 barrels, right? It just depending
Yeah,
on the
correct.
yeah.
Yep.
But there are some 11,000 barrel breweries that do really well in distro. It just
Mm-hmm.
depends on their cost structure and the relationship with the distributor and kind of when they entered the market. So, yeah, I would say focusing on taproom sales is going to make the tough times not as tough.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
In Pennsylvania too, like we have some big breweries that make really good beer. Like our beer distributors are packed out. Like you're competing with other half Trogs, New Trail, Sam Adams there's a brewery in Sam Adams that is making fresh liquid. Dogfish Head is in Delaware. Like there's a lot of stuff to compete against on top of all the really good craft beer that's out there too. But we've all been into the beer distributor and we get a little intimidated. You don't know what to get. So usually what I'm doing is I'm going back to what I'm comfortable with, and that's Trogs and New Trail and stuff. If I do
sure.
go, but yeah, we don't really have a 10,000. I don't think we have a 10,000 like barrel brewery around here. But yeah, I would love to. I know they're out there that are doing well. So with distro, so
Yeah, definitely. Look, I think the secret sauce for when you get to that size is making sure that your wholesale partner or your self distro program is your numbers, right?
mm-hmm.
If you know what the profitability and the margins per SKU is, then you can make it work. But going out and just being like, hey, we're going to distribute 7,500 barrels this year and do 2,500 in our tap room, that 75 can quickly eat your lunch if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the biggest thing about it. All the 10,000 barrel breweries that we work with are laser focused in because they understand it's a very slippery slope. Like they can't just pull something from the market that isn't profitable, right? They have to make some tweaks and adjustments and get really dialed in on the process.
Hmm.
So it's just blocking and tackling at the lowest level, man. As generic as that sounds, it's exactly what it is.
Gotcha.
Where's one of the biggest opportunities for craft right now, in your opinion?
Great question. I I'm not as low on Gen Z as many of my people in the industry are. I think half of Gen Z is not even of drinking age, and we have to think back like when I was 21 to 24, I was drinking the cheapest beer that I could get, and now Gen Z is starting to get some expendable income, and we're seeing an influx of Gen Z specifically this year, which is very encouraging. And they seem to be going after the like something with a twist, like a brown ale with brown sugar or whatever. Like they seem to be dipping their toes in that stuff and not going after the crazy, like heavily fruited stuff. That's what we're seeing in our area, at least. So I see a lot of opportunity with Gen Z and how to connect with them too. Like I'm 34 and I've had to become educated on how to interact with them. Like they use their phones like 10 hours a day or something like that. So which is
Crazy, yeah.
crazy, yeah. And so but you still need to reach that customer market, and how do you not come off as like an old curmudgeon? So we do reels to kind of appease to them, and we've seen some traction on that. We are looking into getting TikTok, but I think that that's a really untapped market that we are starting to tap into. So.
Yeah. Yeah, all the data that I've listened to, because nearly every single state, the keynote was someone poo-pooing on Gen Z, except for the data people, and they were saying actually Gen Z is drinking less, but they're not drinking, right? Once you eclipse that 21-year-old mark, you feel empowered to go drink. Now, I was probably at the bars 4 times a week. They're maybe at the bars 1 time a week.
Yeah.
Or at the brewery 1 time a week. So it is a lower volume, but they are still drinking just less. And it's not like they've completely X'd out alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think really, I know Untapped is such a good resource to see what people think of your brand. And I know brewers don't like to look at it, but I look at it once a week just to see, like, we've had beers before where I thought it was a fantastic beer and customers didn't really like the label and it gets a lower score. I'll relabel that and repackage it, and the score will be 0.1 or 0.15 higher. So it's like Untapped is a good way to see how the brand, it's not just how the beer tastes, it's how the whole brand is. So I think really looking at Untapped and it is a good way to see how customers view your brand and where you can improve.
Yeah. Awesome. What trends are you paying attention to right now?
From a beer standpoint, I know everybody's pushing lager. I'm just not seeing it. So we've pushed lager, pale lager. We've seen some hoppy lager stuff go, but it's not we're not seeing the huge push. I think I'm starting to see some more fruited beers come back. Like, I think that there was an overcorrection from, like we had all these crazy smoothie sours.
Yeah.
And then the brewers like overcorrected and just went like to the market's eyes, like bland beer, like lagers and stuff. And I think we're starting to see, like what I was talking about, a brown ale with brown sugar. I think we're starting to see beers trend that way, which I think is healthy for our brewing environment.
You mentioned RTDs earlier. Talk to me about your RTD program.
Yeah, so at Black Friday, we introduced our liquor program. So we have bourbon, vodka, and then we just introduced RTDs. And we were scared it was going to eat into beer sales, but it has not. It has just added. So we have an uncarbonated tea, an uncarbonated half lemonade tea thing, and then a Coastal Crush, which is like a mojito at 4.5%. But it was we have a couple other ones coming out, but like we got together with some good mixologists, and I actually took their recipes, mocktails. I was like, you need to make mocktails, and if the mocktails are good, it's going to be good with vodka. So we brought some mixologists in. They did their thing. But yeah, it's been going great. No complaints. But I think it's a way to add to your experience and reach new customers, at least in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, man. Ryan, I really appreciate the conversation today. It's super informative. Love what you guys are doing at the farm. Where can the listeners learn more about you, or maybe even contact you if they have questions?
So warwickfarmbrewing.com. That's our website. And then I run social media. So Facebook, Instagram, just shoot a message on there and I'll be willing to answer any questions or grab a beer with you or something. So
nice. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the True Craft Podcast. Links to cool information about our guests and other fun facts can be found in the show notes. This podcast is sponsored by Small Batch Standard. Small Batch Standard is the premier financial agency built to serve the craft brewing industry. We help craft breweries grow profits through outsourced accounting, tax compliance, and growth consulting. Visit sbstandard.com today to learn more and request a discovery call. See ya.